Today, as we start this show, this one mic. We hail throughout the stadium. There is a pause throughout the stadium as this man sounds like he just coughs up a lung. Just looking around, the Jumbotron shows and pans the cheerleaders, and as it goes down each cheerleader's face, each one breaks up into laughter, which at this particular time destroys half the stadium. The other half is still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Does this guy need CPR or something? And then at that particular time, I lost it. Devon Druck. Yes. Today,
Blog Talk Radio.
This show, this one mic.
Phoenix is another place. They got a great training staff. They were able to breathe life back into Shaq. And you can do that. People talk a lot about their training staff.
Blog.
Yes, today, as we start this show, this one.
Yes, today, as we start this show, this one mic. Yes, it's good to be here. I want to first of all thank our folks out here who are supporting us, Bowman Medical Group and Mind Match Development. It is final. RSG Challenge is over. Much like the game we will talk about, the winner had to come from behind, winning at the end, jumped from, I believe, the fourth or third spot to the top spot. Bob O'Brada, he sent me a text this morning, clowning and loving it. He had the Kansas, got 64 points and took the first. He said he wanted the belt. I told him, we got some supply chain issues. They emailed about it, but we're going to get the belt to Nashville so you can have it over there. So we got to congratulate my man, Bob O'Brada. And I said, Bob, we need to get you on the show. He said, all I just care about is championships. I said, okay, John Wooden. So, Bob, congratulations. This is my guy from way back. The young man, the man from Streeter, Illinois. Took it, and then Mike Newman came in second, and then our man Mo Red from Red Insurance Group came in third. But when you look throughout all the brackets, it was just a bloodbath. It was just like this was literally Survivor. That's about all it was. Every time I looked at it. We need CSI. Every time I looked at everybody's brackets, it was so much red. I was like, this is a bloodbath over here. Like you couldn't even find it. I mean, when I looked and I texted, I said, well, Bob could win this because he looked like he's the only one with Kansas in a sea of red. So congratulations, Bob. It was great. We got another year under our belt. We're going to try and tighten it up again next year. But my RSG crew, the person who came the closest was Hammer. He was in fourth. And then I think the next person down from there was Joy, who's been on our team. Marcus was a little farther down. And it looked like the rest of us, I didn't want to scroll on up. We were down there, and I was bringing up the rear like Sergeant York, as as my boy Fred G. Sanford would say. But it was a great run, great stuff, and we'll, obviously spend a lot of time talking about the tournament here tonight. Now that it's over, not only the Monday night tournament, but we also got to honor the ladies first, the women, Don Staley in South Carolina. So we'll dip into that when we get into some of our talk. But let me bring my partners into the game. Let me start with my man, the Hammer out of Chi-Town. What's up, man? How's it doing? How's it going?
I'm doing well, except for seeing my Bulls getting whooped, but it's all right. But no Levine tonight. Giannis is just jogging down the court and ain't playing, but it just is what it is. The countdown crew broke it down on ESPN. Just basically too many injuries for the Bulls and peaked at the wrong time. So, but again, make the play-in, the playoffs. At least we've got postseason, or we've got a much better future than we had under Jim Boylan and Garpax. That mess. So the era is over. So we're happy. I'm happy with the Bulls, man. Really respectable.
And your tone just sound wrong. Like two months ago, you were saying it with your chest. Now you
I mean, again,
with his chest 2 months ago.
Again, I like sports and politics for several reasons. they're not qualitative, they're qualitative. So, we're getting our butts whooped right now. So, I mean, you can't spin that.
Uh,
You can't spin and get whooped. So, I mean, it's a nice.
yeah, y'all got to know when Hampton talks about politics. It's the funniest
Um,
thing you told me about politics. First time you told me about that years ago, I almost choked my food the way you talked about the brutality of politics.
yeah,
You're right. It's just
brutality of
like
sport.
sports. You
Yeah,
take that public whooping, and it's
public
something else.
whooping, man. Yeah,
And then we
public
got my
whooping.
young man Jose's down there in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Doing his thing, trying to get his coaching legs under him. Been running around all the camps, meeting the who's who of coaching. He's at the spring day, hanging out with Spike Lee. This cat. Hammer. Not too long ago, he was like, we couldn't hear him speak on the mic. Now he's saying it with his chest. He all out of his face. He's who we knew he was. What's up, man? How you doing, youngin? Darnell Kirkland.
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, I got a chance to see Kaepernick as well at the spring game. So yeah, it was a fun time.
Man, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're having these experiences. Like I always tell you, you earned it and deserved it. I always tell you that. I get on you every once in a while with some of your framing and everything else. I've always said, well, you deserve it. I'm pushing you. We're going to keep pushing you because you deserve to be in that space. So I look forward to being down in the field with you coaching on the sidelines and just kind of hanging out with my credentials. So we gonna speak that thing into existence right now. Right now. All right. Well, we're gonna get into the open mic. We'll get into the proceedings. I already just said congratulations. Uh, you know, uh, Regarding the tournament. So we will definitely be getting our stuff out to folks who are the winners, and thank you again for participating. We kind of had to pull it together tight this year with everything else, but we'll get along with it. But we enjoyed it, and it's always good to get into it. All right, we're getting an open mic, and we're gonna start with what's on your back page. What's on your back page. I think that's what I got up here. So I'll start with you, Hammer, and come back to you, Darnell, and then I'll hit on what's on my back page. So, Hammer, what's on your back page? What's that?
It's got
What's
to
that?
come back victory of Kansas.
Yeah.
They looked like they looked listless, and they looked like they're gonna get blown out. North Carolina had swag, and self went back in the lab and brought out the the analogy with Memphis was it 14 years ago. They came back, they took over the game and won it. Unfortunately, I was pulling for brother Hubert Davis, could have been the first black coach since Kevin Ollie to win it, especially considering how sadly Kevin Ollie's career has cratered. And even looking at some of the history of John Thompson being the first black coach winning. So, but Hubert, great debut following a legend. But again, just with Baycott getting hurt and Kansas, the veteran leadership and really them thinking again that this was we had to make up for what the pandemic wiped out in 2020. Kansas brought it home and they're national champions. Yeah.
All right, and we'll definitely get into details on that. Darnell, what's on your back page?
All right, we got a fight brewing. Fight is heating up. We on Saturday we had Savannah Marshall putting this girl in a coma almost. Man, this was like a Wilder-esque knockout. And Savannah Marshall, she has some extraordinary power. I mean, some power you don't see every day, especially in the women's boxing game, because the way women's boxing is set up with the rounds and stuff, they do like 10 2-minute rounds. So it's rare that you really see knockouts because by the time they really get into a flow, the round's over. So yeah, seeing the knockout like that, and then Clarissa Shields jumping in the ring, this is going to be a fight to watch. They've been promoting this, they've been brewing it, going back and forth. The UK versus the US. Eddie Hearn's been kind of doing his little thing as far as on the promotion side, but yeah, I think this is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, you sent the link out and just watching it, and yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm going to definitely tune in on that fight. They look like they don't like each other, and you got Flint right over there, saying ain't no future in the fronting, and so they bring that MC breed into the space. So it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be it's gonna be some furniture moving when these two get into it. On my back page, I got a couple things that I want to hit on, but I'll hit this one. Tiger. Just watching it with the interview, the fact that it looked like he's going to play this week, the fact that he's going to be doing the par three tomorrow with his son Charlie, and just given the accident and the brutalness of it, the fact that he's here, he's here golfing and we can't get AD on the court. I don't even understand that. There's something about pain management. AD put this stuff out there, but Tiger just there's people who just they believe whatever. But it's good that it's good for the game that he's back and he's probably going to be playing this week. So that's obviously a major thing there. And I'll have one more thing that we probably didn't have in rundown, but Pete Carroll taking over the meeting and going in on the owners about what they need to do, which is interesting. And then this counter narrative that people are coming back on Pete about whether or not he hired the offensive coordinator has nothing to do with the message. His message was right on. These owners get mad, just get mad. But until people who are in privileged space like Pete say what they're gonna say, and I'm glad he said. People like Belichick don't need to say it as well. Things are not going to change, and these owners know it. And Pete was right, so that's on my back page. All right, what we got going on out here? This is one actually that Young and you brought up, and as you helped to prepare this rundown. Your question is, has the clock struck midnight on the Lakers, and I say yes. There ain't no glass slipper. The glass slipper is already off. The pumpkin is what it is. It's just whether they know it or not. It's one of them things like them old gangsters movies. Do they know that they dead or not? They don't know. It was kind of like Wire when Brody was on the corner, trying to hold the corner. He just didn't know his time was coming up. We knew he was dead. He didn't know he was dead, and I think that's where the Lakers are right now. They just on life support at this point. What say you, Young? And you put this up here. It's more than struck 12. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I think it's over. LeBron's not playing tonight. So they're probably they were going to lose if he played regardless because they played the Suns. But if they lose and the Spurs win, which I don't think the Spurs are going to win tonight because they're playing the Nuggets. But if both those things happen, the Lakers are eliminated. So we have to see how things play out. But I think LeBron will come back for the last two games if the Spurs lose, just to see if they could possibly make a push. And you never know if they get in that play-in. Something might happen, but no, I think it's over for them.
What about that team might happen? I don't even like what tells you it's going to happen. Like I don't see nothing about them, and this is not even having anything to do with Vogel. Like I don't see nothing about that team that tells you they got a spark in them that's going to make them play. Like what gives you that insight? Even if they all suit up. Huh?
LeBron James. I
love LeBron.
If LeBron James, he's old and he's past it. But even when he's old and he's past it, he always has that one performance in him. Like LeBron, like we've seen it during the regular season. He hasn't completely lost everything, but he can't carry for the whole game. But he has stretches where it looks like LeBron again. But that's my thing. If you get him in a one game scenario, it's like if you guys win this game, you guys can make the playoffs. And then all of a sudden you see 2018 LeBron show up again, and it's like, oh yeah, we're in trouble. That's the scenario I'm thinking about. Because all of a sudden, if that LeBron shows up, now you have AD playing protecting the rim on the other side, and maybe that's enough. But who knows?
Ooh. Well, they say you turn water into wine. We know the story, so maybe anything's possible. I mean, anything's possible. Like the wardrobe of our baller Henderson for the Carolina Gamecocks, who got her own wardrobe. It's called Anything Possible. Maybe that's what she probably saying. Anything's possible. All right, Hammer, what do you think about that? Lakers Life support? What? I mean,
Titanic. Forget about Cinderella. They're Titanic, man. Please, man.
you said the music player. The music player.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The Titanic music is playing, and we know what's happening. No, it's again. This is when happens when we have Rich Paul and LeBron James playing GM.
Yep.
I mean, to pass over DeRozan for Russell Westbrook made no sense. I mean, he never fit in their scheme as far as the Lakers and just the whole letting Caruso go. I mean, some of the stuff that Magic was saying this week was ridiculous. It showed that obviously math wasn't his best subjects because the cap space didn't add up as far as keeping people and trading for Buddy Hield, things like that. But no, bottom line is that, again, you can throw Vogel on the bus. I mean, it's not gonna. I saw Jason Kidd coach Sunday and coach his butt off against the Bucks. I mean, he would have been good, but I don't think it's coaching. I mean, they could have had anybody, John Wooden coach him or Krzyzewski coach him. I mean, they're just not a good ball club. And you're right. Anthony Davis has no threshold for pain. Never trade him. I mean, these rumors about Quinn Snyder and Doc Rivers. Are you serious? I mean, again, they just need to blow the whole thing. I mean, LeBron, they need to go back to Cleveland or something. That would be a nice way to end his career with some of those pieces there. But you look at all of his boys, Carmelo Anthony, and it's ridiculous. I mean, you're in trouble when Stanley Johnson's is a rotation player, and he was basically out of the league most of the year. That's when you're in trouble.
Yeah, I actually heard something else about Quinn Snyder.
Wait, you know?
I said I actually heard something else about Quinn Snyder. I heard he's possibly going to be the Popovich replacement once he.
Yeah. There's that rumor he's going to be the son. And I understand why both places. I mean, they've imploded in Utah.
No, Quinn Snyder's a good coach. The problem
he's a good coach, but again, like I said, I would rather you see Udoka, and I mean, I'd rather have these young bucks. Give him a chance.
He made Udoka already.
Retread. I mean, Udoka's.
Udoka is not going nowhere.
My point is get the young up and coming coach. I'm not talking about him per se. He's not going anywhere. I'm talking about the young, and they keep on retreading. I mean, I didn't know this. I shouldn't admit this on a talk show, but I will. I know Danny Ainge was the CEO of the Jazz now.
I think we talked about this on. I thought we talked about it on this show.
Yeah, we covered it.
Yeah, I thought y'all were just talking some mess. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I just see.
Well, I mean, that's part of the problem. And I mean, Danny made some great trades. Obviously he's got a championship in Boston. But I mean, yeah, I'm Quinn Snyder. I'm not really trying to live through that regime. Yeah, I mean, they're sitting at sixth. I mean,
that goes into another the next question on the rundown. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Good segue, but no.
So I'm trying to understand the question about the Jazz because I don't know if it's about breaking them up. I mean, they're.
It's about breaking them up. It's about their culture. Is gone.
What's wrong with their culture? I mean, help me understand.
Gobert. It's no secret that Gobert and Mitchell don't get along because of what happened in COVID, where Gobert got infected. You remember that? Well, I know.
Yeah, but that's not breaking it up. So you trade Gobert.
It's been a long
get some really good assets back. Yeah, I don't see that as
trade Gobert. Then you trade Donovan Mitchell to New York, and then you break it up. I mean,
I wouldn't trade Donovan. I would trade Gobert. Like, why would I trade?
I think Donovan wants out too. Donovan wants to stay there. No.
Well, you got Dwayne Wade as an ownership. You got. Come on, talk to me, Darnell.
So from what I've been seeing, their chemistry on the court has imploded significantly. Like last year during the playoffs, they're a well-oiled machine offensively. But now, they live and die with the 3-ball, which they've always had. But now we've seen several clips like I've seen on Twitter where Rudy Gobert, he has a switch on that pick and roll. He goes to the post, he posts up a guard, and he's sitting there. He doesn't get the ball. You can see like the visible frustrations in different situations between Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, and then Donovan Mitchell after not the Warriors game, after the Clippers game, he said, I don't know. He said it's like last year all over again. He said we're in the same place we were in last year. So I'm not saying we necessarily got to blow them up, but what's the next move? You know what I'm saying? What tweaks do they have to make? And do you try to write it out? Like what is the next move for the Utah Jazz?
I mean, I don't see.
You don't bring in Danny Ainge out of retirement, coach my retirement to stand pat or try to tweak. I mean, you brought in him to blow it up. This
There's
the guy
no need to blow that team up. Like to me,
yes, they do. They lack, like Darnell said, they lack chemistry. And there's a lot. But let me finish. There's a lot of personal animus. There's a lot of personal animus between the beat reporters tell you about between Gobert and Mitchell Hayes.
Which I'm okay, but if I move Rudy and get assets back, I'm not considering that blowing it up. I feel that pivot.
Yeah, and you trade Mitchell as well. You just
I don't trade Mitchell.
You don't have to do both. You don't have to do both.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like the rest of that roster is good. If you try to deal with the chemistry, I think the rest of that roster is good.
You build around some young players. Like, you get your own.
Why are you going to do that when you
Donovan Mitchell is a young player. How old do you think Donovan Mitchell is?
I mean, why would you
bring
do that?
Ainge do a tweak job?
How old do you think Donovan Mitchell is?
How
old do you think Donovan Mitchell is?
Donovan Mitchell is only, I think, 23 years old, something like that, right? He's very young.
So is he not a young player that you build around?
Look,
he is, but he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be in New York. He wants to be from Greenwich. He wants to be from New York.
Yeah. And I want more grits. Don't mean I get it.
And New York wants him.
You got Dwayne Wade there. And you got Dwayne Wade, and you got Danny Ainge. Those two people should be able to talk to him. Now, this is what I'm talking about. They got decent play. You got Hassan Whiteside and you got Azubuike. I get rid of Gobert. Get me some assets, wings, whatever you think you need, and you can do that. This team is not. You got Bogdanovic. I mean, you got players who can play. Plus the draft. I'm like, if I move him, I got two bigs. I can play.
Are you gonna be satisfied with being 6th seed every year or losing?
It don't have to be last year. Something like the 2 seed last year.
Or losing the 1st seed every year. You need to blow it up. You need to blow
because
it up
you dropped one time. Like you
dropped several times. They ain't won one chip ever.
You would be fired tomorrow.
You brought Danny Ainge to be milquetoast. You brought Danny Ainge,
but that's not what you
big moves.
Get there. Sometimes you can have addition by subtraction.
From Garnett, the big three. Look, they didn't bring him.
Rudy is probably.
He can get off the golf course. He can get off the golf course and go back to 18-hour days to again have the status quo, brother.
Yeah, but that's not the status quo. You can sometimes advance.
You need to blow it up.
Look,
make your own identity. Get you a young coach in there. Change the culture. Like you said before, the culture.
Why you got to change the culture if you got a young Donovan Mitchell?
Because you have two of your best players.
Change the culture. Eliminate Rudy. That's how you change.
Eliminate both of them.
Why would you eliminate both of them? Like you are Utah.
You can do a major rebuild with 2 stars. You can do a major rebuild.
Let me get this right. You are Utah.
Yes,
you are Utah. Historically, you can only get it through the draft. Ain't nobody moving there.
So hypothetically, if you trade Rudy and you trade Donovan Mitchell, who are you getting back?
I have to look at the.
You will be on the bottom for the next 10 years.
The thing is that if you bring in Danny Ainge, if you bring in Danny Ainge, you are
Darnell. You just said it right. You are the Oklahoma City Thunder with that move. You're not a destination place. Danny did that in Boston. Utah's not a destination place. Which free agencies are raising their hand?
Milwaukee wasn't a destination place, and they won.
This is Utah. This ain't Milwaukee. You got Summerfest in Milwaukee. You got Summerfest.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
You got a whole bunch of other stuff in Milwaukee.
They ain't lucked out with Giannis Antetokounmpo and injuries last year. That's how they won the title. But don't tell me Milwaukee's a destination place. Don't tell me that. they've not
Milwaukee is
gotten
South Beach
major free agents
compared. Milwaukee is
and don't
South
tell me
Beach
Brook Lopez
compared to
was
going
a
to
major
Utah.
free agent. Brook Lopez was coming
Milwaukee
off
is South
no.
Beach.
I went to bus
Hammer.
game. I'm telling you,
You
it's
gonna
not
get rid
a
of
destination
Donovan
place.
Mitchell? You gonna get rid of both of them?
I would trade him to New York.
You will be
They'd
on the
probably
bottom.
overpay.
You
I'd
are the
trade
Portland
whoever.
Trail
I would
Blazers.
Okay,
reset
so
with a new coach, a
Talk
new
to me.
culture,
Darnell,
since
bring
you,
some sense to
and a
this.
new
Oh
Utah
my
Jazz.
goodness.
since you didn't know Danny Ainge with the Utah Jazz, I assume you probably also don't know that Donovan Mitchell just signed a 5-year deal last year, right?
It doesn't
So
matter.
he had
Paul
those- he
George
had
signed
those
a
other
contract.
contracts.
He got traded, so don't go
But
there.
why would you trade Donovan Mitchell?
Because you can get major assets from
That
it.
don't
You can
matter. He's
also
one of the
have
best young
New
players
York
in the league.
overpay.
What assets are you getting back? When you got one of the best young stars in the league, why does it make sense to trade him?
So what do
Because
those
you want to
assets look
start
like?
over with the
What do
culture.
those
That's all
assets
they
look
do.
like?
What do they look
Oklahoma
like?
City
They
traded-
brought in Giannis.
Oklahoma
They
City traded
cleaned
Paul
house.
George. What did they get back?
This team, the Milwaukee Bucks won like 25 games. What was it? 8 years ago. Not in the one world champions. You strip it down to its foundation.
But that's not you.
Build it
That's
back
not.
up. That's
You
the
were
NBA.
just number two.
You don't do this milk toast
You
4
were
or 5
just
seed
number
every
2.
year. Mediocrity. No, that's a bunch of BS.
You were just number 2.
I'm telling you, if Donovan Mitchell is dissing on the record like that, he wants out. He wants out. I've heard.
No,
I
think if you move
out.
Rudy and you bring other pieces, Donovan gonna be fine.
When you move Rudy, if they don't move
Yeah.
Rudy, they don't move Donovan Mitchell.
Rudy.
They're gonna strip it down
because you got two
they'll
bigs on the
strip it down.
roster. You got Azubuike, who I've seen, and you got Hassan Whiteside on the roster if you can hold on to him, and you got Pascal. You got guys who can play. You can do it by committee, and then whatever
They're not
you get
super
back,
impact players.
whatever you get
man.
back,
You need to have the impact.
you can get a
the
lot.
NBA, you have to have that impact player.
You can get a lot for
bunch of
Gobert.
good guys.
You get a lot for him.
You get a lot for Gobert, you get a lot for Mitchell, and you can do a total reset.
I'm not
get
doing
some
that.
free agents
You would
to
be
come
in
in
purgatory
there.
for the next 10 years.
And then also, Danny Ainge will be able to attract some people.
Who we going to attract to Utah,
not
man?
stars. Not stars. Let me get not stars, but better players
but
than
that's what it's
the
like.
always
You're getting there. Utah is always. Go ahead.
You know what's funny? The assets that Carl was talking about are the same maybes that he was talking about last show when we were talking about the Tyreek Hill trade.
Yes.
And football and in football, these later round.
But it's a different thing. That's a bad analogy. With Tyreek Hill, you do not trade away in the prime of your career your best assets, number one weapon. You don't do that. You don't do that. If you're serious about it, again, for a bunch of maybes.
Donovan Mitchell is the best
also,
team.
We're not going to be trading. You're not going to trade picks. You're going to be trading players on rosters who are scouted, who you're going to be trading for picks.
So these assets. So what players are you getting for Donovan?
You're going to have to have players come in for Donovan Mitchell's salary. You're going to have players. So don't be disingenuous here. You're going to get assets that are proven players or players who are development or players who are playing right now who would be able to come into a Utah, come into a fresh situation, and change the culture. I see a culture being the problem there.
The culture is really two players not getting along.
They have a culture.
The culture is two players not getting along. Get rid of one.
Yeah, and that's going to blow up the whole team. Your two players get along.
No, it's not. Get rid of one.
We ain't talking about Last Dance. They ain't Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Like you throwing the baby, the bathwater, the robe, the food. You throwing everything
Michael Jordan
out.
never choked. So don't compare him to Last Dance.
Everything out.
How dare you compare Last Dance?
Danny Ainge can't sell Salt Lake City.
They ain't dance. They ain't dance.
Look.
They ain't dance.
Utah has built its history on recruiting stars and building.
On losing. They're losing. They're losing. They never won anything.
But they're losing. Hardcore thing.
That's what they are. They're losing.
You got Donovan Mitchell. I'm getting rid of Gobert. I got young bigs already. I can get me some wing players back, get some other pieces back, build some stuff through the draft. You still cooking.
No. You do you tear the thing.
You still got
down.
Mike Conley. You can hold on. Like you got
tore
players.
it down and you build it back up. And the Bulls will put themselves in a couple years.
That's the kind of stuff that sounds good coming out your mouth, and then you wake up 2 or 3 years later, and you just you're the Wizards.
Well, I'll put it this way: it ain't work. Do they have a title? No, it ain't work for all the stuff they tried to do. Right?
Jared Allen.
You do something different. And Sandy's doing the same thing over and over again.
You're right. You get Jared Allen, right? You get Jared Allen back. Now you better, and you got better climate. And you might be able to steal one of them other young players from Cleveland.
And you trade.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a good trade. Get Jared Allen, maybe get a couple other assets. Now you got you there.
And that's probably
right?
What
like that. And you keep Donovan Mitchell, and he happy. And you get D-Wade working with him.
Yeah, happy there. He want to be in New York. He want to be in New York.
A good spot for Rudy Gobert would be the Mavericks. I think Dallas Mavericks. See,
it'd be good because Dwight Powell is not a 5. I mean, he played well against the Bucks other than that, but he's more. I mean, obviously NBA's changed, but he'd be so good as a 4, it'd be frightening. So, I mean, that again, but FC was part of that deal. But it said you need to strip it down, man. The fact you got Danny.
I'm looking at that team. I am not stripping it down. They're far from stripping down mode. I am not stripping that team down. You come out of pandemic, there's other factors. I'm not stripping that team down. I'm making some tweaks.
Hey, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are going to be like KG and Stephon Marbury. We're going to look back.
That's a good. They're not getting along, and they need to both go. Like they did. They need to both go.
Ooh. All right. Are y'all excited about the play? Let's get off this one. We just have to see which direction they go.
I already saw they're bringing in Danny Ainge out of retirement after 2 heart attacks or so. I think
Danny not cleaning that out. Only way he'll clean that out is if he loses his coach. He can't replace him with a really good coach. I mean, he's got a lot of good pieces. Danny's not gonna overreach. He's not selling Boston, coming to Boston, East Coast. He's got to figure out how to sell. I know he grew up there. He loves the state of Utah, but it's Salt Lake City. That's a whole different kind of mix, man. It's a different thing. You gotta be thinking those moves because it'll spiral quick on you. Now, the play-in tournament. Are you excited for it? Darnell, you want to raise a play? What's getting your juices? Because right now I don't see anything that gonna really matter in the play-in scenarios.
You don't see anything. I'm gonna pull up the standings for you.
I mean,
we got a lot of stars in here. Like,
yeah, but Brooklyn don't scare me.
Games in it, but like I said, again,
we got. Okay, so right now in the Eastern Conference, the play-in games would be Charlotte versus Atlanta. So you got Trae Young versus LaMelo.
Yeah,
and the other one's going to be Cleveland versus Brooklyn. So you got Darius Garland versus Kyrie, Evan Mobley versus KD. Those are some good matchups there. And then on the Western Conference side, you got the Clippers versus Minnesota. You got Patrick Beverly going against his old team. They're gonna be barking. They're gonna be barking back and forth. You got Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, a very talented team. And then the other game would be San Antonio versus the Pelicans, which is like I don't know about that. But then also we heard today that Zion's stepfather said that he expects Zion to play at some point. So just something to look at
next year. Yeah,
if they make the playoffs, if they can bump the Clippers out of there, we might see Zion back.
And you think he's gonna come back and he's gonna gel and be in there? And how many minutes he's gonna play?
Zion's game is he doesn't need the ball. Like, he's one of those guys. He plays without the ball. He can do that. He can do that Armando Bacot role if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the game in the moment, there might be some excitement, but for the long term, possibly the playoffs, I'm like, it ain't really gonna do that for me. Although the moment, a 1-game scenario or 2-game scenario, it's gonna be good. It's gonna have some good energy around it.
It's good for TV. I'm a purist. I don't like it. I don't like it because all they're trying to do is replicate the March Madness formula, which I mean is good. I mean, they look at the ratings. TBS, they killed it. So But again, I'd rather have you gonna play 82 games, then you'll come down to one game. That's dumb to me. It's like baseball's playing. I'd rather have the the 8 teams and play 4 out of 7 and have drama that way than to have trying to replicate or try to copy the NCAA model to get the casual fan involved. So yeah, but again, it's good TV. I mean, it's going to be really good TV. It's in the Eastern Conference, not so in the Western Conference. So, but unless LeBron pulls off a miracle and gets in there, which ain't gonna happen probably. But yeah, I'm more old school, man. I want to see 1 versus 8. I mean, starting off 1 versus 8, it's playing stuff I never liked, man. Never liked.
All right, we're gonna get into the main stuff. Rock, Chalk, Jayhawks, and as Coach Davis said, they just wore us down. Which speaks to my point I just said before we was arguing about getting this game, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna argue on that one. But they walked us down.
Say you're gonna say. Say you're gonna say. Say you're gonna say. Say you're gonna say.
It was like body blows beginning from Saturday night to night. It was body blows. They came out excited, and then they just walked them on down. They walked them down, as David said in his own words. They wore us down. And that was it. They said, the Kansas Jayhawks said, we are not going to be on RSG's Can't Trust Us list. We are officially. It's going to be good to see Bill Self out at Maui next year. I'll be able to connect again with Coach Self.
If he's coaching, is he going to? He might get suspended, right?
We'll see. Hopefully, winning helps a whole bunch of stuff. We'll see what happens with the investigation.
No, winning also gives you opportunity to sit somebody down because they won something. So yes.
So, but it was a great game, man. I mean, USC came out, did their thing. Darnell, I know you got some observations, but what does it say about some of the keys to victory? What did you see? I know you were texting me when UNC was up, but then Kansas got walked down. But what did you see? What was the difference?
That's funny because you said I was texting you when you was up, but then we was on the phone when they were.
Then we was on the phone.
That's why I was texting. We was talking in person. You told me. let's not.
Well, we were texting at first. We were texting at first, and I said, "Let me call this young man," and then we talked through as you were watching get walked down like Secretariat.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So the key, I could do both teams, but the keys to victory for Kansas. Because like I said earlier, Kansas's best players, they don't really create their own shot well. So what Kansas had to do was they had to turn their defense into offense. Because when you're playing in transition, it's easier to create your own shot because there's more space. And that was really the biggest key there because they were able to turn North Carolina over and really wear them down with their press. And yeah, that's pretty much was the key to victory for them. And plus, Remy Martin coming off the bench and gave them a big spark in that second half. North Carolina, I believe their key to victory. But this is my thoughts before the game. Their key to victory was to run Kansas off the 3-point line, funnel them into the big. You know what I'm saying? Make them make them create their own shot. Like I said, they struggle to create their own shot, make every shot difficult, and make them play over contest. And that, I think they executed pretty well for that first half. Like they had Kansas had a stretch of like 5 minutes where it didn't score a single point, and that's when North Carolina came out to their huge lead. Well, not huge, but it was a pretty sizable lead, and that press wore them down. You saw the jumper start going shorter and shorter. The short rotation really killed them too. They played 6 players and 3 of them sprained their ankle in the same game, and one of them threw up. So yeah,
he got hit in the stomach. Yeah, I didn't know he was Cameron Johnson's brother.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Brother. He looked just like him.
Yeah, he does look like him. Yeah, I look at him. I just look at him. He looks like he needs to be in high school. That's another story. But yeah. You know,
But Christian Brown, was he was working him in the post. They did the inverted, had him on the post. He was taking him off the dribble. Then on that fast break where he did the he hit him with the Euro step. I mean, he was his game.
But then, yeah, if it's the fast break though, you got a two-way go.
Yeah, but
It
he was,
might-
but
it
what
might
they
have been-
did was, you remember, they put him in the post. They put him in the
Yeah,
post. He said, "I had a little one," and he was
yeah.
going that work in the post as well. And so, McCormick, showed he could pass from the free throw top of the key and got it into him. And then, they did that post game, and like you said, Remy, you and I talked about Remy. One of the problems, he couldn't get on the court because he couldn't play that D. But
No, he was playing defense yesterday.
he played defense yesterday. But the reason why he
he
hadn't been
wasn't
on the
playing
court,
defense the whole year,
he was
though.
defensive
Yeah,
liability.
most of the year.
Yeah, I'm not the big remark, but he showed up. He showed up yesterday.
Yeah,
I remember watching him at the beginning of the season when he was starting. I was like, man, I know he got the name, but shoot, Harris can ball too. Like, come on.
Well, he cut some of it, man. And he looked like damn, like just eye control last year working with Arizona State, but no, yeah. So yeah.
All right, Hammer, did you agree with the who they chose?
Great analysis. Yeah, I think also North Carolina shot poorly too. I think that's the one thing they were kind of passive as far as I think they should attack more. Like I said, got Baycott involved in, Brady Merrick more involved in, give the free throw line more. But like Darnell said, their lack of depth hurt them. Kansas depth helped them, especially. And like I said, they were just more fluid. And he's right; they turned offense to defense. Defense to offense, and they're able to get into a flow because they're not a half-court team. They're a transition team. And when they attack the rim and go to the basket, and Braun and it's just a tremendous game plan in the second half when they were stagnant the first half that was historic. Again, comeback where sadly Hubert Davis, right? They wore down whatever they lost, but they gave a great value and effort, and I'm glad they beat Duke. That's one thing. So. Glad that the Duke wasn't in there, so because I just didn't want to see that mess in Coach K's final game. I don't want to see that. Coach K's final game needed to be a loss. Needed to be a loss, which it was. That's what it was. Unless he does a Tom Brady. So yeah.
And one thing, Kansas is a good half court team. Like they do play well in the half court. It's just like it depends on what team they're playing against. Like when you're going against a team like North Carolina, they're very athletic. So it's hard to create those advantages. Well, that's going back to the point that Devon made when they started posting up the guards because Caleb Love he can't be taller than like 6'2", and Christian Brown's a solid 6'5", 6'6", and he had that advantage there. So take him to the post and go to work there, and that was a good adjustment for Kansas.
Yeah. Again, they put on a coaching clinic second half.
So is Kansas off the can't trust it list?
Yes, they're off the can't trust it list. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're favorites next year too as well. So, the bottom line is that I give them credit. They went through the field, and also the way they incorporated Remy Martin from Arizona State, and how they were able to again avenge sort of their lost season. I thought it was a great thing, and again they just show competitiveness, especially like Darnell talked about with the pressing and posting up, and really just again outmaneuvering their opponent after they were basically bullied the first half. So so I think definitely they're off the can't trust the list. Gonzaga and Arizona will be permanent on the can't trust the list, but that's
the Zags will be at the Mile Invitational as well. It's going to be a loaded field. Out there, UCLA is going to be there. It's going to be a loaded field. Tennessee, it's going to be a loaded field. And we're going to learn a lot about who got dog in them out there next in Maui out there. Darnell is itself in that position to be the leading person to fill that void created by Coach K's departure, or who
is he the leading person? Is that what you said? Is he the leading person?
Is he the one leading person?
No.
If he wins another one, he
That's
got one.
recency. It's recency bias, to be honest with you, because he's a very good coach. He's a great coach. I've been a fan of his team for a while. Like I like the team with Marcus Garrett, Udoka Azubuike in them. I like the team when Josh Jackson was there. So it's V. Luke. I like the team when they had the Morris twins, Tyshawn Taylor, Thomas Robinson.
They had better teams in his team.
He's
He
had
better teams in his team. He had better teams in his team. This
Yeah,
was probably his most
had good
expensive team.
Yeah, he's had good teams, and I've been a fan of his team. But at the same time, there's other guys that I would point to, like Baylor. You're gonna look at this at their recruiting class they're bringing in. Baylor's gonna give them a run. Kansas still gonna be there, but Baylor's gonna give them a run. Texas is gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Arkansas is coming. Arkansas is coming.
They're coming with a lot of
the landscape's going. We don't want to hear, but Juwan Howard.
Juwan coming back. Yeah, Juwan. Yeah, Juwan coming. Jets coming to campus.
Yeah,
but I understand, and I know there's a merging, but he gonna be loaded. He the favorite. He wins next year. You know, between him and Jay Wright, they sit in the driver's seat.
I think Jay Wright still. I would take Jay Wright as over with Coach Kagan. I take Jay Wright right now.
But at the same time, you can say, oh, it's Bill Self, but what were we saying last year? Scott Drew, because Baylor just won.
Yeah. He won 14 years.
But how many years has Kansas, like, they've owned their conference? He said he hasn't been less than a 4th seed.
They've owned the can't trust it list. That's what they own.
I understand that, but he's been in the game.
That's what they've owned. That's what they've owned. They beat Memphis. They beat Memphis because Memphis imploded. Memphis imploded. They lost a 9-point lead with 2:14 left and blew it. Coach Calipari found a way to blow another game. The Mr. St. Peter's. So I don't see him on that level. Again, he took advantage of the can't trusted teams that were on the top, the Gonzagas of the world, the Arizonas of the world that choked. And, he was able to sneak. I give him credit. He won the chip. A really good team, fundamentally sound team. But, again, is he the elite coach with Coach K? No, I think it's Jay Wright. I take Jay Wright all day. Especially the most recent success.
And I don't see this team. I know they're champions. You got to give them the respect as champions, but I don't see this team on the same level as I saw Baylor last year.
No. Yeah, I was there live. Baylor, that team was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the Baylor team this year, it was very good.
I tell you what, if Big John
they lost that big dude. Big
John was still playing. I think that North Carolina game was a little bit different.
Yeah, I think they would have won it, but no. And they got some good players like Snowshine turned pro, and
we'll see what happens. But we got to put some respect on
Kendall
the
Brown.
Side. We got to put some respect on the women's side. Don Staley. When you're facing a coach who is undefeated in championship games, 11-0. That South Carolina team came out and we are going to put it on you. And Destiny Henderson was on her game out there. But, Don Staley don't want a gold medal out there. We got to put some respect on that name. And what Carolina, Carolina is looks like they're about to take over. That women, there's a lot of teams on the rise, but they look like she is positioned. She got players on the bench that didn't get a lot of playing time, but who can play. So she's loading up. We'll see what UConn does over there. They just didn't. They look UConn. It's not the right framing, but it felt like it was like Baylor against Gonzaga. It was clear who were the aggressors. In that game. And so Don Staley is on her game. She got the second one, plus she got a gold medal. She said she ain't going to be around long enough to win 11. But we got to put some respect and love on that. I don't know if you had a chance to watch them play at all.
I watch parts of it, but not as much. But yeah, they give Don Staley credit. She's a great coach. Boston credit, won the Wooden and with Naismith. And yeah, I mean, again, the bottom line is that South Carolina came to ball. They came out smoking. So that's what you got to do. Got to come out smoking. Got to come out hungry. Come out like you haven't eaten in 2 days. They came out like they ain't eaten in a week.
Oh yeah, Boss was like, y'all said all them crying memes of me last year. You could tell she took that personal. Y'all better put these smiles. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, South Carolina plays some defense. They're long at almost every position. I mean, they make it tough on you.
Oh, they locked Becker down. They put Becker in the witness protection program on that one. It was like, you at the crib and we not letting you get off at all. I said, boy, they had that like, we not letting y'all get this. And so it's great to watch them. It's great that they push the production for it. They got to push a little bit more in there, but it's moving in the right direction. But we can't get through this without talking about them Gamecocks. So I'm good with that. All right, we're gonna hit into the drop the mic on this. We hit a lot of stuff. We go in our usual mode. We hit with Hammer. I'll go, and then we had a youngin go to drop it. We'll let the youngin finish off. The man who got the rundown, who hit us with the production. We let him go last. So Hammer, hit it.
Yeah, I'm talking to you from Chicago suburbs right now, basically Chicago, and I'm gonna call out one of my Chicagoans. I usually don't do this, but I got to because he's not representing us, and that's Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis's brother, your key has been revoked to Chicago. Plain and simple, you're not one of us. You've embarrassed us for your whole career. You have a manufactured title in the bubble. You're always hurt. You're always crying. You had to pry yourself out of New Orleans. And brother, like I said, you're not a Chicagoan. You ain't even Naperville. You know, you're like South Dakota or something like that. That's how you representing. And so the bottom line is that on behalf of all Chicagoland, the Chicago key has been revoked. And again, like I said, we will let you come in to the city to play games, for basketball. That's it. Your Chicago card has been revoked. Plain and simple. Your card, your key, your residency. You consider yourself somebody. You're an LA person now. You're a pompous, weak, again, player that is embarrassing us. And so I hope they trade you for a whole bunch of goods in the off season. You and Rich Paul, trade Rich Paul along with you. And like I said again, the experiment worked 1 year in the bubble and in the controlled atmosphere of the bubble, but we now see the true Anthony Davis, a loser. Drop the mic.
Amen. Your key has been revoked. Hey, I want to go back to a piece I just talked about. I remember beginning to watch women's basketball way back in the day. And I remember turning on the Virginia Cavaliers and seeing this point guard and going, wow, this point guard can ball. And that was Don Staley. Feisty, love it. Remember the feistiness. It was great to interview Secretary Don Krem, my boy Hammer's former boss, about her. She started out and she played for Virginia, but grew up in Philly with Don, and talked about the parks they used to go to, and Philly really being this place that really had this organized work in terms of the way people were able to ball, particularly girls and women were able to engage, and then the ability to play in parks and wherever do. And you can see that in her game, and she's always been that way, all the way to the work she did as a Cavalier and pushing and winning there, and moving that program forward to being part of the Olympic team and being there and always being a back. I remember, hearing Rebecca Lobo talk about, she's always been that feisty, which meant she probably yelled at Rebecca a couple times and said some stuff in practice. But that competitiveness, and then when she took the job at South Carolina and what she's done to make that a destination place, and then, coaching the gold medal team, when we talk about excellence, we talk about Black excellence. That's it. And to see her celebrate and dance, and wearing that leather jacket on the sidelines with swag, it took me back to to the 1980s New Jack City crossover mode, and it was just so nostalgic. But to see what she's doing now and the imprint she has in the game is amazing. So that's what I got today. I'm dropping the mic and handing it off to my brother Darnell.
All right, so I have 2 points today. First is Cade Cunningham. What does Cade Cunningham have to do to win Rookie of the Year? Last month, he's averaged 21, 6, and 5. This guy's been absolutely balling. It seems like ever since the first couple weeks of the season, everybody already had their mind made up that Evan Mobley is the Rookie of the Year. I know the Cavs are in the playoffs. They're doing well, but Cade has proven that he's the best rookie this year. He's played in his matchups with the Cavs against Evan Mobley and the Raptors against Scotty Barnes and against Jalen Green as well. He's proved when it all comes down to it, Cade is the man. And my second thing for the drop the mic is don't just share stories. Like, always click and read the article and make sure everything that you read is factual. Stephen A. Smith has been the last victim of this Twitter page called Ballsack Sports. So ESPN, all these guys have fallen victim to these fake reports that they put out about certain things in the sports world. The latest is that there's a rumor that Kyrie and James Harden supposedly played one-on-one in practice, and Kyrie reportedly was just calling him washed and stuff like that. And then that's why James Harden requested a trade. And that is absolutely false. That was a rumor that was spread by Ballsack Sports. And not Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A. Smith, all those guys, Mike Johnson, they've all perpetuated this rumor. And this is not the first one. There's been plenty of rumors that have been circulating through mainstream media that has been, picked up by these fake news sites. And it's just a reminder to do your due diligence. And they say think before you speak, research before you share. Darnell Curtin dropped the mic.
Great.
Preach, youngin'. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for being with us. Please go to realsportsguys.com to check out everything Real Sports Guys. You can catch us up on all the social media platforms. Check us out. See where we're at. Do that stuff. Check us out. We're all good in the hood. So I want to make sure you check us out on realsportsguys.com. Till then, we'll see you on the other side, y'all.
Yes, today. As we start the show, this one mic. We hail. There is a pause throughout the stadium as this man sounds like he just coughs up a lung. Just looking around, the Jumbotron shows and pans the cheerleaders, and as it goes down each cheerleader's face, each one breaks up into laughter, which at this particular time destroys half the stadium. The other half is still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Does this guy need CPR or something? And then at that particular time, I lost it. Devon dropped. Yes, today.
Blog Talk
As we
Radio.
start this show, this one mic.
Phoenix is another place. They got a great training staff. They were able to breathe life back into Shaq. And you can do that. You know, people talk a lot about their training staff.
Blog.
Yes, today, as we start